Hi, my name is Linda, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful placemat using the quick crack technique and stenciling the leaves on top. So let's get started. First of all, you need a placemat, a wooden placemat that you would sand down nicely. I'm not going to do that today. You will sand it and then you will paint it. I used the dark gold and I painted it. And here on the flip side, I've got it already painted. I gave it 2 coats. It just gives it a nice finish. And then you leave it to dry. Once it's totally dry, you are going to take your quick crack and you're going to give it a layer of quick crack. So this is what I'm going to do on this one. So you take a nice soft brush and you give it a layer of quick crack. You must give it a nice, even, fairly thick layer, otherwise your cracks won't work so nicely. And what I do is I go in the same direction all the time. I don't go crisscross and up and down. Do it this way because then you can also see where you have applied your quick crack. Once you've covered your whole item with a quick crack, you've got to wait for the crack to dry totally. Otherwise, the top layer of paint is just going to make a mess. So I normally do this and then I leave it overnight so that it dries nicely. And then I start with my top layer of paint. All of these products that I am using today are available at selected P&A stores. So tomorrow you can go buy all your products and have a ball. Okay, so once you have done that, you've coated your entire placemat with the quick crack, you take it and you put it one side to dry. And preferably you're going to put it onto a level surface, because if it's a slopey surface, the quick crack's going to run off and it's going to be a mess and you're not going to get this effect. Okay, so I don't have a ready-made one, but I've got a little coaster and I've got this little box that I have painted and I've put a layer of quick crack on it and it's dry. So now we can take our white paint and we can put it on so that it can start cracking. So what happens is you've got your bottom layer of paint, you put your top layer of, quick crack, wait for it to dry, and then you put your top layer of paint. It forms a reaction and it starts cracking. So your cracks that you see are the color of your bottom paint. You can use metallic paint at the bottom. You cannot use metallic paint on top, because it will not crack. I think it's most probably something to do with the metallic paint and the quick crack, so it won't. So underneath metallic, on top you cannot. Okay, so now we're going to take our white paint, normal craft paint. Let's get this out the way. Pour a little bit into a container over here. And I normally dilute the top coat with a little bit of water so that it's not too thick. Because if it's too thick, you battle to get it on and then the paint's too thick so it looks lumpy and your cracks don't look nice. I have already diluted that. So now what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to show you the different sort of cracks one can get. You'll see over there, the cracks are running that way. Over here the cracks are going down that way, and over here it looks like the cracks are going like that. So it all depends on the top layer of paint in which direction you put it. You also cannot take your paint and go over and over and over and over. it will not crack. It will mess up your crack. So you've got to take a little bit of paint. So we're going to start with a coaster first. So you'll see I'm putting the top layer of white all in the same direction. And you won't go over and over and over like that because it will not crack. You also can't start over here and go all the way down, because if you've got thick paint, you're going to have big cracks. If you've got virtually no paint at the end, you're going to have fine little hairline cracks. That's why you take, you dip, you crack. You take, you dip, and you crack. So these are all going in the same direction. So this little box has already been painted. It's got the quick crack on, it's dry. So I'm going to show you if you want to get the cracks going in different directions. So you go like that, you go like that. You go like that, go like that, you go like that. And you'll see I don't go over parts that have already been done, because then you cover up your cracks. And you'll see it starts cracking. So the cracks are going in all different directions. They're not all going down one way. It's like this. They all cracked like that. Okay? So once you have done that, you leave it to dry, put it out the way, wait for your white paint or whatever color your top coat is to dry, and then we can carry on to the next step of stenciling the flowers. So here it is. I've done that. It's dry, and as you can see, the cracks are going in all kinds of directions. It's up to you. Some people like the cracks all going in one direction. I quite like this little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, so now you take your stencil. I've already taken my spray adhesive and sprayed it on the back, because you need your stencil to be sticky when you place it on here. If you're just going to take a stencil and put it on, the paint's going to bleed underneath. So you can either use your spray adhesive or you can use stencil glue and give it a generous layer of stencil glue at the back. Wait for it to dry. Once it's dry, it's still sticky. Okay? So then you position your stencil, press it down nicely. Okay, and then I've got two color green. Just pour a little bit into a container. A little bit of the darker one. Okay, so you pour a little bit of the paints in. Dark green and light green. So now what you're going to do is you can use a stencil brush, which is a round brush that's cut off flat at the top. And you start with your paint, and then you take a little piece of roller towel, because you don't want to take a lot of paint on there, because it can maybe bleed underneath, although you've got your stencil glue. So you sort of like just wipe the excess off, and then in circular movements, you go over the entire area. Just be careful that you don't go over the edges. A little bit of the dark, just to sort of like get a little bit of shadows and make your leaf look a little bit more realistic. You can always take a little bit more of the lighter green if you just want to blend the colors a little bit nicer. And you will see as you put your green on, you can still see the cracks through the green paint. Okay, you do it like that, and if you're happy with what you've got, you lift your stencil off, and voila, you've got a beautiful green leaf. So now what you can do is you can take your stencil and then move it and just do a little, press it down again, just like I've done over here, just little pieces of the leaves. And what you can do is you don't have to do all the leaves that color. You can just take a little bit of darker green over here, leave it a little bit lighter. The next one you can make a little bit darker so that they don't all look the same. So that is what you do. I'm not going to do all the other corners, but that's, you put one over there, you put one over there, you put one, you can randomly place them like you want to. You can do your own design, and once you've finished, you've got this beautiful placemat. Once it's dry, all done, you take your spray varnish and you give it a nice spray varnish to protect it. If you don't want to use it as a placemat, you can always make 3 of them and hang them on a wall for a wall hanging. So until next time, happy cracking, happy stenciling, and have fun. See you.